Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? This is Colin, back at it again with episode 13 of A New Direction, the podcast where I talk about all sorts of things ranging from a variety of different topics and just kind of give my opinion on different things. Today, yet again, we have another standard episode, 4 different topics today. I think this will be a good one, but just like usual, we're going to start out with the music recommendation for the episode, and this is going to be a little bit different. An album many of you may have never heard of. It's called Are We All the Same Distance Apart by a band called Crooks UK. This is like a post-hardcore album, so it might not be up everybody's alley, but it's one that I've liked as I've listened to it over the years. I think I found it back in like sophomore year, maybe even before that. I can't really remember. But I've known about it for a few years now. It came out in 2015, and it doesn't seem to have like a lot of attention, so I figured I would go ahead and recommend it because it's an album that I like. Overall rating, I'd give it about a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect. It's post-hardcore, which is not my favorite genre, but it's a very, very raw and emotional experience all the way through. And I would say that the majority of the songs are very strong, like very well written, very well performed. There's a few that aren't so great that I kind of feel interrupt the flow a little bit, but overall it's a solid album, fairly well put together, well written, well produced especially. I'm a big fan of the drum sounds on this album especially, very, very heavy and punchy. But the emotional kind of experience of listening to this album is very, very prominent, and you can tell a lot of emotion went into writing each track and performing it even. It was a very, emotional experience for the members of the band. And I actually haven't heard anything about this band in a while. Like, I haven't really heard any new music or anything come out of them. I don't think they've actually done anything since this album came out. And like I said, since they're not so well known, they don't really have a huge presence, and I don't think they have like any social media, so I'm not really sure where they went, kind of fell off the face of the earth a little bit. But the last thing I heard is that the vocalist had like torn one of his vocal cords or something. And so he kind of got out of this style and was starting with more rap sort of music. But I'm not sure if that's true. That is an unconfirmed rumor. I just want to put that out there first and foremost. I'm not sure about that. But it would be nice to kind of know what happened with this band, because I really liked this album, and especially I think with even more refinement, this could have been a very good like base for something even better in the future. But yet to see that come. But some notable tracks on here are What Might Have Been. Is a good one. It's, I believe, the second track on the album, or the third one maybe. And then there's, pardon my pronunciation, it's German, but I'm not sure if I'll get it right. It's Schöne Seele, which I think translates to like beautiful soul. And then the title track, Are We All the Same Distance Apart, is also really, really good. But overall, a solid album. Like I said, a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. So can't really go wrong listening to it, or at least giving it a try. If you've never listened to post-hardcore, I would say this is a really good album for it. The vocalist especially has a very, very, very good vocal range. He can hit very low notes and very high notes and everything in between, and he's very smooth with his delivery, and you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, it's a very, very nice listen when you just hear something so well produced and everything so well put together, just comes out so nicely. It's very nice to listen to. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into the discussion of the video. And today I actually have a big update regarding the channel. That's the first topic. I'm going to be getting a webcam, so we're going to start getting some facecam video content. I'm actually thinking about just transitioning into doing like a straight up just webcam, like I'm talking to y'all as I record these episodes, and we'll have the webcam, the microphone obviously, so the quality will still be, crisp, but it'll be nice to kind of, I guess, put my face out there, put a face to the voice, and so maybe it'll make it a little bit more personable, a little more, I don't know, relatable. You can kind of see who you're talking to, and I don't know. We'll just kind of see how that goes. It's definitely something I'm going to be trying out, but I needed to get a webcam anyway for school, because where I go to school, we use like a virtual, like online proctoring service to monitor during the tests, and so I don't actually have a webcam. I've actually never owned a webcam on any of my desktop computers, which is a fun fact. I've never bought one. And so I needed to get one for home so I could take my tests at home because, like I've talked about before, I'm doing like hybrid school where some of my classes, like I have to go, but some of them I can do them online. And so the online classes, I needed the webcam to be able to take tests and stuff. And so kind of corresponding with my YouTube channel and kind of trying to expand and improve the content a little bit, I figured doing a full-on, webcam kind of face-to-face video would be a better alternative than the stick figure thing I'm doing right now. And although I must say I really like that, I think it's kind of quirky in a way, kind of unique. I definitely think I'm going to give the facecam content a go and kind of see how that goes and kind of what the reception to that is. And so, big update. I'm not 100% sure when that'll be coming. I just ordered it today. And so by the time this goes out, I will definitely probably have the webcam. And so it might even be the next episode that is, starting that type of content. So look out for that. Definitely, if not the next episode, the one after. But we're definitely going to be trying to get that going and improving the content here. But the webcam I ended up getting, it was actually quite a struggle to pick one because there's so many different options. I know the Logitech, I believe it's the G9 or the C920 is the kind of main recommendation from everybody because, Logitech is a very established brand when it comes to computer peripherals. And so that was kind of the general recommendation that I had seen. But it's a little expensive. I think it's like $60. And, I'm not trying to spend a huge amount of money on a webcam right now. I'm not going out and buying the, $200 Logitech Brio or whatever it's called that's just like 4K 60 FPS. Like, I don't need all that. I'm just kind of starting out with it. And so I ultimately ended up getting the Aukey FHD webcam, which was one that I saw that was pretty prominently recommended for the price. It was only $30. Has full 1080p video. I think it's 30 FPS, but with the type of content I'm doing, I don't really think that'll matter so much because I don't really do a lot of moving. And so 30 FPS with the camera should be fine. But I saw a lot of good reviews for this camera, or I guess it's not a camera, but the webcam. I saw it had a lot of good reviews. I watched some video tests, and the quality looked really, really good, especially after doing a little adjustment in your recording software. It seemed that you could get some really, really good, professional-looking even results with this webcam with just a little bit of editing and tinkering. And so I'll definitely be curious to see what kind of quality I can get out of it. Like I said, it's kind of my first go with the webcam, so it'll definitely be an experience kind of setting it up. And I already know when I record the first video with the webcam, it's going to take me forever to do it because I'm going to feel like I look bad or something. And it'll just be something to get used to because I'm not used to like putting my face out there, I guess. And so, y'all get to have a face to go with the voice of the New Direction podcast here. But that's kind of my first major update here I wanted to talk about in this video. The webcam is coming, so keep that in mind. But the next topic is more of a personal story from not so long ago. It's only been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago from the time of recording here. But it's kind of a long story, but it's really funny. So my grandfather, who shout out to my grandfather, who I know is watching this, and to my grandmother as well. Both of y'all are very amazing, and I love both of y'all. But my grandfather and I, the other week, we took this trip to go to a restaurant. And so I know you're like, that doesn't sound too out of the ordinary, but let me get into some detail here. So the particular restaurant we're going to is one that has been around for many, many, many years. My grandfather said he remembered going to this restaurant and like has very, explicit memories, or not explicit, but very pronounced memories even to this day of going to this restaurant back in like the 60s. So it's been around for a long time. And my grandfather is a huge barbecue fanatic, loves barbecue sandwiches, anything that has to do with barbecue. My grandfather is all over it. And he says that this place has the best barbecue sandwiches on the planet, bar none. Nothing has ever come close to this place as far as the barbecue sandwich is concerned. And my grandfather adamantly believes that, is a proponent of that. And so, I've been to this place before. It's been a few years now that I went, but me and my mom and my grandfather And I think my grandmother went too. We all went together and stopped and ate there on a trip as we were kind of passing through the town that it's located in, which is about an hour away from where I'm at. And so it's a good, hour, maybe a little bit longer depending on traffic, but it's a good little drive away. And so the other week, just kind of spur of the moment, I guess, I asked my grandfather if he wanted to go to this place and get get some food. And, I was going to get a burger, and he was going to obviously get the barbecue sandwich. And, I think he had mentioned to my mom that he had kind of been craving one recently, and so that is kind of what inspired me to ask him. And so I asked him, and of course, he was down. He really wanted to go and get it. And so we set a date that I was off work. I believe it was a Wednesday. I had been off work this day. I just had like an appointment at like midnight or something or not midnight, at noon. Hopefully I don't have any midnight appointments anywhere, but, I had an appointment at noon, and so I got done with that, came back home, and, my grandfather came, picked me up, and we began our journey. And this is where it really starts. So we're driving, and the drive out there is not so bad. It's about an hour, like I said, about an hour away, and so it was a pretty peaceful drive. We just kind of sat and talked the whole time. And, the area we are, passed through to get here is the hometown that both of my grandparents grew up in. It's about a 30 to 40 minute drive with traffic. And so we kind of passed through it to get to the restaurant. And so, my grandfather's pointing out all these landmarks and stuff that are, still standing all these years and decades later, buildings that he remembers from his childhood, and just like walking down the railroad tracks and, all the stuff that is still there from his day. And it's really cool to hear. And, I'm a huge fan of hearing, personal stories about things, especially, my grandparents have a wealth of them because, they've seen a lot of things in their life, and, they've experienced a lot of things and have made a lot of memories in a lot of places. And so it's really cool to kind of hear my grandfather's personal stories about, the town that he grew up in as we pass through it, and, pass all the buildings and the streets that he used to wander, and, even where his old house used to be. It's really cool to kind of see all that. But, we're riding through, we're talking, and it was funny because I think it was around this time where one of us made the comment. We were like, it would be really funny if we drove all this way and they were closed, which, that right there kind of sums up the story already, but we're going to continue on. Y'all kind of have an idea of what's going on. Definitely not the right comment to make. Definitely in hindsight should just have kept my mouth closed. Or knocked on wood or something, because that comment was spoken into existence and was manifested in reality. And so we'll kind of see how that has an effect later on. But anyway, we are driving, and eventually we finally get to the town that we're going to. And, like I said, it's been about an hour. And so we pull up, and my grandfather's like, all right, we're kind of getting into some unknown territory here. I haven't really been this way as much. And so we pull up the directions, and we're like, oh, great. We're like, less than 10 minutes away from this restaurant. And so we're like really excited, the barbecue sandwich, my grandfather can taste it, and I'm, can taste this burger and fries I'm about to get. And we're really hyped about it. And we pull up, and there's no cars in the parking lot, spare for like two. And there's like a woman at the door who's like knocking. And, it's very obvious that this restaurant is closed. And, naturally, me and my grandfather are just shattered. We're defeated. We're heartbroken. We cannot believe that we have driven, an hour to go to this restaurant and eat, only to have it be closed. And so, in our grief, we decide to regroup and go to a different restaurant. And we end up looking at like the local like restaurants on Google, like, searching up the best restaurants we can, go to in the area. And we picked this one that was on like the main street that had really, really good reviews. And we go and try it out. It was like a kind of like a more gourmet burger place, kind of a little more upscale, I guess, especially compared to where we were originally going. But, we go to this upscale kind of burger place and we eat, and it's pretty good. I got like a Diet Coke because, fun fact, I love diet soda. Actually, I love zero sugar soda, especially. I know diet soda is kind of controversial on its health benefits and whatnot. But I really, really love, Diet Coke and, Coke Zero. And I almost like them more than regular Coke, which is kind of a very odd comment to say. A lot of people give me weird looks when I say that, but I don't know. There's just something about the taste that I like and kind of prefer. But, I ordered the Diet Coke, and it was kind of weird tasting and just kind of, I don't know. And I felt kind of weird just being here because, I don't know. I've never really been to a more, like, upscale place. And I'm not saying this was like a 5-star restaurant by any means, but, it was definitely a little more, up a step up from like your typical fare. And so, I felt a little odd being there, and the menu was kind of hard to navigate. Not a whole lot on there, but I ended up getting a burger. They had this burger with I don't know. It came with like, just so you don't know the like type of food we're talking about here. They had this burger and it came like by default with like aioli and jam on it. It's like kind of a, you know, fancy like burger. I don't know. Burgers to me are very plain and simple. I don't know, very rugged American. I just get beef and cheese and bread, some mayonnaise, ketchup and mustard and bacon, and I'm set. Like I'm not too hard to please, but some people like aioli on their burgers and whatnot, and that's cool. I think that's great that we all have diverse tastes like that. But naturally I ordered it without the aioli, and it came with like this steak sauce on it, and it was really, really, really good. I highly recommend it. But we ended up eating there, and the food there was pretty good. I got like these Parmesan fries along with the burger that were also very, very good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And so, we end up going to the restaurant. We eat, we pay, and I drive home. My grandfather drove us there, and so I drive home, and I ask him on the way home, I'm like, do you want to get a milkshake? Because, me and my grandfather have a tradition of getting milkshakes at this point. Every year for a long time, Sonic would do the Summer of the Shakes promotion where they were half price after 8 o'clock, and me and him would go every night that I would spend the night at their house, and we would go get one, and they're so good. I love Sonic milkshakes, and so I was like, maybe we'll go to Sonic and get a milkshake. So there happened to be a Sonic in the town that we were passing back through, the town that my grandfather grew up in, that we passed through to get to the restaurant. As we were going back through it, there's a Sonic there. And we pull up to the Sonic, and they tell us that the ice cream machine is broken. They're pulling a McDonald's on us, not surprised, but we're like, all right, that's cool. So we leave. And there is another Sonic on the way home from this town that we were in. There's another Sonic like on the way home off the side of the highway that is very kind of close to my house. And so we end up pulling in there, and we order our milkshakes, and we wait like 30 minutes, and they're not coming out. None of the food is coming out. Like these people, like these Sonic drive-in, spots are just like completely filling up at this point. And the food's still not coming out, and they've got like one food runner running food from inside to all the cars, and it was just a shit show pretty much. And so it was definitely an experience, and eventually we're like, we've waited 30 minutes, and fortunately, I hadn't paid for the milkshakes because I wanted to pay with my card, but it never popped up on like my kiosk or whatever, so I couldn't pay with the card. There, I was gonna have to wait on the the food runner to come out to pay, and so fortunately, since we hadn't paid, we just left, and we're like, all right, there's a McDonald's like right down the road. We're gonna go to the McDonald's and try to get a milkshake, and if that doesn't work, then it's just not meant to be. So we drive like literally like 1 mile probably, if that, to the McDonald's, and they're wrapped all the way around the building as usual. And it was kind of odd, like this was like a Wednesday night at like 8 o'clock, and McDonald's was lined up around the building, which is not really, I don't know, it's not really anything new for McDonald's, I guess. Like every time I go, even when it's late, like I've been to McDonald's at like midnight on a Sunday, or I guess technically a Monday at that point, but Sunday at midnight, like they're crazy. Can't stir them with a stick out there at McDonald's. They be doing mad business and making mad money. But I would hate to be the third shift crew that has to deal with all that. But anyway, we pull up to the McDonald's. They're wrapped around the building, and we wait for a little bit, and then I'm eventually like, I think maybe we'll just try this again next time because I'm really not trying to wait in this line. And my grandfather concurred. He agreed with me. We left, went home, and did not get our original food that we started the whole point of the trip to go get. We didn't get that, and we didn't get a milkshake at the end to wrap it up. So we're definitely going to try again. We already have tried it again once, and we called before we went this time, and they were closed. So we're going to have to reschedule and figure out a day we can go that they're not closed so we can finally get our food. But we'll definitely post an update about that when the food has been secured. But that was my little story time about my 2 hour long journey to go get food that didn't even come to fruition. But my next topic here is also food based. This is going to be the interesting eating habits that I've seen, working at Firehouse. The different kind of weird things that people get, they just kind of confuse me because honestly, anybody who's worked in food service will be able to tell you that there are some very weird requests that come through from time to time, or even just like every day. But like from time to time, you have the really weird requests. And so I'm going to go over kind of some of the things that I see at Firehouse that I think is kind of funny or just kind of odd. So first things first, we have a sandwich called the Turkey Bacon Ranch, which is exactly what it sounds like. And people will literally come in, or even online, and the thing is, if you order online, you can't even fix it. You pay for it online, so if you get it wrong, it's kind of, on you a little bit. But people will come in and order the Turkey Bacon Ranch, except they'll want no bacon, or no ranch, or instead of cheddar cheese, they'll want, provolone cheese. And the thing is, it's if by doing that, by ordering the Turkey Bacon Ranch with no ranch, you are literally paying an upcharge for bacon that you're not even getting, because the base price of the sandwich is going to be more because it has bacon on it. So if you order the Turkey Bacon Ranch without bacon, you are literally spending more money for nothing you're not even getting. But people continue to do it all the time. And the same goes with the Club on a Sub, which is the pretty much the same thing as the Hook and Ladder, which is ham and turkey with Monterey Jack cheese. The Club is the same thing, it just has bacon. But people will order the Hook with bacon, or the Club with no bacon. And so in either case, you are literally spending way too much money, because if you get the Hook and Ladder with bacon, the bacon is an additional $1.50 upcharge on top of the price of the sandwich. Meanwhile, if you just get the Club, it's only 30 cents more or something like that. It's not a big difference, the price between the Hook and the Club. But if you order the Hook and add bacon to it, it's a considerably larger price increase, and Firehouse is already expensive to eat at as it is. I mean, we literally, our large 12-inch sandwiches with chips and a drink is literally $15 or $16 for one person to eat at that point, depending on what you get. Obviously, that is entirely dependent on what sandwich you order, but in general, you're going to spend a lot of money to come eat at Firehouse. And it's crazy, the prices, really. So working there does have the benefit that I get the food for a considerable discount, or for free, depending on how it works out. But the Turkey Bacon Ranch with no ranch or no bacon is definitely an interesting one that I've seen quite a lot. Another one is the veggie. So people will order the Veggie Sub, and the Veggie Sub at Firehouse is kind of a low-key sort of sandwich. I feel like a lot of people don't know that we actually have one. Same with the BLT. But the veggie, the base, components of the veggie is sauteed mushrooms, sauteed onions, and sauteed bell peppers. That is the three base items that come on the veggie, because all the sandwiches will come, minus a few specialty ones. All of them will come with lettuce, tomato, onion, and deli mustard, and then mayonnaise, of course. And so the veggie comes with all of that, and then some Italian dressing on top as well. But the base of the veggie, you're paying for these sautés. And so people will come in and order the Veggie Sub with none of the sautés. I mean, I've had people come in and order the veggie sandwich and literally get just lettuce on it, or lettuce and tomato. So they're paying for all of these sautés that they're not getting. They're paying for, the veggie comes with extra cheese on it because, obviously the sautés are not going to really stick together too well on anything, so the cheese kind of holds it all together and kind of makes it into a more usable goo that you can kind of put the bread on and not make a huge mess with. But people will come and order it with no sautés, and it's just kind of interesting how people do that. And it even says if you order it, we ask them if that's what they want, and they're no. They're kind of surprised that we would ask them that, but it's that's the base of the sandwich. I'm sorry if that offends you, But another weird one that I've had, I talked about the story of the honey mustard bowl guy who had come in and ordered like a pound and a half's worth of sandwich and wanted a side soup mac and cheese bowl full of honey mustard. That was definitely one of the weirder requests I've ever had. Maybe even the weirdest one was, having somebody want literally a whole side bowl of mac and cheese or of honey mustard, which came in the mac and cheese bowl, and I did have to give the dude his bowl of honey mustard. It was very interesting, definitely an odd situation, that one. And then the last big one that kind of comes to mind literally happened today. I had somebody order a sweet and spicy meatball, which comes with the daddle pepper sauce and the red pepper flakes on it. And so that is what makes it the sweet and spicy meatball. It's like the sauce and the pepper flakes is what differentiates it from the regular meatball, because the regular meatball just comes with the meatballs and then Italian seasoning and cheese on top of it. And the sweet and spicy comes with, the cheese and the meatballs, obviously, but then we also put the sauce in it and then the pepper flakes on top. And so, oh God, we had somebody come and order a sweet and spicy meatball with no sauce and no pepper flakes. So they paid the additional cost because it is an upcharge to get it sweet and spicy since there's more stuff on it. So somebody ordered a sweet and spicy meatball, took all of the sweet and spicy components off of it, and still paid to get the sweet and spicy meatball. That was definitely the most just confounding one I've ever had. It's one I will never be able to understand. But those are some of the weird eating habits I've kind of encountered with people. Definitely, other things that are a little more, I guess, personal opinion or bias. Like, I'm a huge fan of deli mustard, which comes on pretty much all the sandwiches at Firehouse, and I just like slather my sandwiches in it. But it's just kind of sad to me because I see all these people come in and they don't want the deli mustard on their sandwich. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like the best part of it. But that doesn't seem to be a very common opinion, or a shared opinion with a lot of people at least. But yeah, you definitely see a lot of interesting things working in food service, and eating habits is definitely one of them. But that transitions us here into the last topic, which is not such a long one. This video, or this podcast episode, is almost 30 minutes now. But the last topic here is this concert that I'm actually going to go see in March. I believe it's on March 3rd, and it is a Deaf Heaven concert. So Deaf Heaven is a band that has had a huge impact on my music life. And, I've talked about that in depth earlier on in our earlier episodes. But this is the Infinite Granite album release tour that they are doing. The first major tour I think they've done since quarantine started way back in 2020. So I'm very excited to get to be a part of that and get to go and see them. And Infinite Granite, it's an album I haven't really listened to a whole bunch yet. I definitely need to listen to it some more to kind of get a better opinion on it. But so far, I really like it. I like the kind of more post-rock shoegazy sound that they went for, opposed to the, black metal shoegaze stuff they were doing. The more pure, full-on post-rock, I think, is very good. And they did it very, very well. And so I'm kind of excited to see how that transitions live, to see how well they perform the tracks live. But that that's a little while away. That's still 5 months away. But I bought my ticket last night, so I am ready to go. I'm prepared, and also I believe Devin and his girlfriend might be coming as well. So it'll be kind of like a whole group thing because my brother's going. So we might have a full crew going to this Deaf Heaven concert, and so I'm really excited about that. It'll be fun to make some cool memories and spend some time with some cool people. And you never know, maybe I'll even get to meet the band, which would literally make my day, because Carrie McCoy, who is the main kind of lead guitarist of the band, has had a huge impact on my songwriting. And, learning the album Sunbather back-to-back, cover-to-cover on guitar was a huge undertaking, but it taught me a whole bunch about, writing music and how to play guitar. And so being able to meet him would definitely be really, really cool. But, we'll kind of see how that goes, and I'll definitely talk about it after the fact, of course. But with that being said, that concludes all the topics for this episode. I can't believe we're already almost halfway to 30, which, almost to 15, but 13 episodes in, I'm having a lot of fun doing these, and I'm excited to see kind of how the webcam is going to switch up the content and kind of what I'll do to make it a little more cool like that. I'll definitely have to clean up my room a little bit because I don't want it to be a nasty ass backdrop. And right now my room looks very messy and kind of cluttered because I'm currently in the process of kind of remodeling it a little bit. But hopefully it will turn out just fine. But with that being said, I hope you have all enjoyed this episode of A New Direction. If you did, like and subscribe. I'd love to have y'all on board as I continue this journey. But I hope this video finds you all in a positive headspace and a good spot in your life. And if not, just know things will get better and you will persevere. And I am proud of each and every one of you out there listening to this. But with that being said, I appreciate all of y'all's viewership. And this has been Colin. Stay chill. Have a great day or night wherever you may be. And I will talk to you next time.